Mi'kmaq people. The municipality acknowledges the peace and friendship treaties signed in this territory and recognizes that we are all treaty people. Looking at item 2 for approval of minutes, are there any errors or omissions to the
So
minutes?
moved, Mr. Chairman. So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder?
Tyler, and I'll second.
Thank you, Tyler. And a call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passed. Approval of the order of business number 3. Are there any additions or deletions, Simon?
Thank you, Chair. There are no additions or deletions received through the clerk's office today.
Okay. Are any members of the committee wishing to move items? Okay. Can we have a motion to approve the order of business for today?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilor. Seconder?
I second.
Thank you very much, Sir G. And all in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? None so being, motion passed. No business arising out of the minutes, and of course, does anyone have a conflict of interest for any item on this particular agenda? None so being, we can move on. There's nothing on 6 for consideration of deferred business. Anything in correspondence, petitions, or delegations, Simon?
Thank you, Chair. No correspondence submitted as part of this meeting package to be circulated.
Are there any petitions?
No petitions received through the clerk's office.
Okay, great. 7.3 is presentations. There are none, and information brought forward, none. We do have a report discussion from staff. It's a request to include 6 to 16 and 20 Rope Walk Lane in Dartmouth in the Registry of Heritage Properties for the Halifax Regional Municipality. And I gather Elizabeth Cushing will be doing the presentation for that.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Chair and members of the Heritage Advisory Committee. My name is Elizabeth Cushing, Heritage Planner with Planning and Development, and I'll be presenting the 6 to 16 and 20 Rope Walk Lane Heritage Registration requests. I understand that we have some time constraints here, so I'll try to be as efficient as possible. All right, so the subject property is on the north side of Rope Walk Lane, bound by Jameson Street to the west and Wise Road to the north. All registration applications for heritage buildings are evaluated by the HAC using the following criteria. Should the HAC score a property with more than 50 points, a positive recommendation is forwarded to Council. I'll provide a summary of the findings for each criterion and pause after each to provide time for HAC to deliberate. There are 2 buildings included on this parcel. 6 to 16 Rope Walk Lane contains row houses, which we'll refer to as the tenements, and 20 Rope Walk Lane contains a single detached residence that we will be referring to as the Allen House. The following presentation will score each building separately to identify the character-defining elements of the property. The Stairs family purchased a large portion of land to establish a nail factory and rope works in 1868. They subsequently developed workers' housing throughout the neighborhood, including on George, Dawson, and John Streets. The tax records for the company, then known as Consumers Cordage Company, list land on Jameson Street for the first time in 1920, and the tenements are listed by the 1921 directory. The tenements are depicted in mapping by the 1927 Fire Insurance Plan. As the tenements were constructed in 1920, staff recommend a score of 5.
Just a little over a century old. How's the feeling for the committee for a 5 for this group?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Sounds good. No one's opposed. We'll go forward with a 5.
Great, thank you. The tenements have historical associations with the Dartmouth Rope Works and its workers' housing, and more broadly with the rope making industry in Canada. The Dartmouth Rope Works, later known as Consumer Cordage Company, was founded by the Stairs family in 1868 as part of their expansive maritime empire. Initially a rope works operation, the company expanded under the leadership of William Machin Stairs and his grandson, John F. Stairs, who merged it with other plants across Canada in 1890. The rope works produced a variety of ropes, including binder twine for agriculture and fishing ropes, and sold their products globally. Despite thriving in the 1880s with a large workforce and company housing, the company struggled during the Great Depression and was purchased by Plymouth Cordage Company in 1938. So for its significant associations with North Dartmouth's industrial history and the rope-making industry in Canada, staff recommend a score of 11 to 15.
11 to 15? Okay.
Yes, my apologies. I see it's highlighting 6 to 10. But I believe it's 11 to 15 in the
11 to
report.
15 reality.
Yeah.
And how does the committee feel? Does anyone have a number they want to throw out?
How about 13?
In the middle of the pack. Anyone else?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I support that.
Okay. 13 it is.
Great, thank you. Staff are unable to confirm the architect of the tenements, but it is likely that they were designed by the Montreal-based architectural firm Ross and McDonald. The firm designed and built several tenement houses in Halifax after the 1917 explosion, and the tenements share design similarities with other row houses in the city. Ross and McDonald also designed a factory for a consumer cordage company in Montreal during this same timeframe. So although Ross and McDonald had local, provincial, and national influence, their involvement in the tenements was unable to be directly confirmed. As such, staff recommend a score of 1 to 3.
You leave it at
Yeah.
3?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 is so
3.
good one.
Anyone feel differently? 3 it is.
Okay, thank you. The tenements are wood-framed, 6-unit row houses built on a painted concrete block or hydrostone foundation. Hydrostone, which is made of crushed stone, sand, and cement, was an economical and fire-resistant material commonly used in post-Halifax explosion construction. Hydrostone is a unique building material in Halifax and Dartmouth. As such, staff recommend a score between 4 to 6 points.
Well, Hydrostone is a huge part of that history. How do people feel about 5 or 6?
I'd say 6.
I was thinking of something higher than that.
Higher than
7. But if we agree that it should be 6, that's okay. But I will have preferred 7.
Okay.
Even though it's not very rare, but then
Yeah.
based on the history of the property.
And we use so much of it there. I'm fine with a 6. Anyone else?
Okay, let's go 6.
6 is good.
6 is good, and we move forward with 6.
Thank you. The tenements exemplify the hydrostone style, featuring hydrostone construction, gable dormers, small open porches with hipped roofs, and molded trim. The style also included half timbering to evoke Tudor revival elements, though the exposed rafter verges and brackets have since been removed from the tenements. The character-defining elements of the tenements include, but are not limited to, the jerkin-head-style roofline, hydrostone foundation, hip roof-covered entrances with bracketed railings and simple posts, projecting verges with exposed rafters along the gables, and 1/1 windows with molded wood trim. As a moderately rare example of the hydrostone architectural style, staff recommend a score of 4 to 6.
How do people feel?
Yeah, let's do 6 again.
I'm liking 6 as well. Anyone else?
6 is great.
6. Okay. Hearing nothing else, we'll go forward with 6.
Thank you. Modifications to the tenements include the removal of the projecting shed roof lines between fenestration on the second story, simple wood piers that separate each unit, some open porch posts with original bracketed railings, multi-pane wood windows, wood cladding, and decorative elements such as wood brackets and exposed rafters. The tenements have seen some modifications. However, the original form and massing remain. As such, staff recommend a score of 6 to 10.
Some changes, quite different from the picture. Interesting where the picture came from.
It'd be kind of nice if we encourage them to repaint it to the original colors.
Yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice. We look at an 8 here? Or do people want to go higher or lower?
Maybe 9 for me.
I'll be good with a 9.
Yeah, 9.
Okay, we'll go with 9. Great.
Thank you. The tenements serve as a reminder of the former Dartmouth Rope Works, which defined the community and its early development. Rope Walk Lane is named in reference to the former industry, and there are historical and physical associations with other rope work employee housing, such as the Nine Sisters on George Street, which is on the screen. The tenements are a distinctive architectural asset that contributes to the historic residential neighborhood near Victoria Park in Dartmouth. As such, staff recommend a score of 6 to 10.
How do people feel?
I think 9. I'm going for 9.
You look at
I
9?
like 9.
Yeah. 9 sounds fine. Anyone else?
9 would be fine.
9 it is.
Thank you. Now we are moving along to the Allen House. So in 1853, Richard Allen purchased one of Samuel Alborough's estate lots for a tannery operation. Allen's son, Frederick, was granted the property in 1875 and continued the tannery business. In 1903, Frederick started to retire from the tannery business and granted a narrow portion of the parcel to his only son, Percy. A structure is depicted on the property by the 1906 fire insurance plan. The Allen House was constructed circa 1903, so staff recommend a score of 9.
Sounds reasonable. Anyone else?
9.
9. We have agreement on 9?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sounds good. 9 we go.
Thank
We have a
you.
9.
The Allen House is linked to North Dartmouth's industrial history, built near the site of the former Allen family tannery. The surrounding area was home to several early industrial sites, including the Red Mill and the Foster Cove Ironworks. In 1800, the Alborough brothers established a successful tannery, barking mill, and nail factory, helping to shape the area's industrial character. In 1853, Richard Allen purchased a plot of land where the tenements in Allen House currently stand to establish a new tannery. The Olin family built a brewery nearby, and the Stairs family operated the rope works nearby, which further developed that industrial identity. So for its loose association with North Dartmouth's industrial history, staff recommend a score of 1 to 5.
How do people feel?
I'm thinking of 5.
5. You want to go with the 5?
5.
5. 5 it is.
Thank you. The builder for Allen House could not be confirmed by available historical documentation. There is a possibility that the current structure is a remnant of an 1883 rebuild of the tannery, which was completed by Lamont Gates. However, the mapping and the property deed records cannot confirm this. The Gates family have likely contributed to many Dartmouth properties. However, their work is poorly documented. So as the builder could not be confirmed, staff recommend a score of 0 for the builder.
Makes it pretty straightforward. So we don't
That
need to-
sound, oh, that sounds so negative for me.
Yeah.
0, not even 1. Why not just give it maybe 2 or 3? Just because the property has been around for a long time. Maybe 1 or 2. 0.
0 sounds too harsh.
Yeah, it sounds too harsh. Nothing at all.
I totally agree with him. I totally agree. Give
Me
1 or
too.
2.
0 is mean. Just kidding. 2. Let's go with a 2.
2
Yeah.
sounds good. We're being kind. Okay.
Yeah.
2.
Okay, thank you. The Allen House is a single detached building with parged concrete foundation, vinyl siding, and corner boards. It was built using balloon framing, a popular construction method from the late 19th to early 20th century, which allowed for quick construction using dimensional lumber held together by nails. Although balloon framing is rarely used today, it influenced modern platform construction techniques.
Mhm.
Balloon framing, while common in its own time, was replaced by platform framing from the 1930s onwards and is growing increasingly less common in present-day HRM. As such, staff recommend a score between 1 and 3 points.
I would say at least a 3 because, yeah, balloon framing is quite rare.
Let's go for a 3.
Yeah, I agree.
3 we have.
Okay, thank you. The style of the Allen House is representative of late Victorian plain style, which is characterized by the two-story box shape, low-pitched gable roof, and minimal ornamentation. Character-defining elements of the late Victorian plain-style residence include, but are not limited to, the low-pitched gable roof, exposed wood detailing and gable roof above the south elevation entrance, which is supported by rafters, molded trim around fenestration, and windows with a flat opening. There are several more representative examples of the late Victorian plain architectural style throughout Dartmouth and Halifax, so staff recommend a score of 1 to 3.
Yeah, we see a bit of it, that's for sure. How do people feel?
Maybe a 3.
Continue to be kind and give it a 3. Good.
3. Yeah.
3. Okay, 3 we have.
Thank you. Modifications include the removal of the decorative details along verges, 2/2 wood windows, molded wood trim, stone foundation, which has been parged with concrete, a wood front entrance, and original wood siding, fascia, and soffit. The Allen House has a fair level of integrity with significant modifications to the exterior fenestration. As such, staff recommend a score of 1 to 5.
Still an interesting piece.
Let's do a 4 or a 5.
Yeah.
What do we think?
I'd go with a 4.
4 is good.
4 sounds good.
Anyone else? Okay, 4 it is. Thank you.
Thank you. The Allen House is a remnant of North Dartmouth's industrial history, reflecting the community's early development. The Allen House is consistent with other single detached homes on Rope Walk Lane, Jameson Street, and near Victoria Park. The late Victorian plain vernacular design is also seen further along Hester Street and Windmill Road. The Allen House maintains the historic residential character of the neighborhood around Victoria Park and Dartmouth, so staff recommend a score of 1 to 5.
I'm feeling a 5.
Yeah, me too.
I agree.
Here.
Helps with the character of the area. Okay, is 5 great with everybody? No one's opposed? 5 it is.
Great, thank you. That is the end of my presentation today.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
So, looking at our scoring for the two buildings, we, I believe, achieved the 51 with the 6 and 16 Roadblock Lane building, but I don't believe we reached that total 50 required for the 20 Roadblock Lane building. So just confirming with staff, my understanding is we would read the motion for the introduction of 6 and 16 Roadblock Lane, but we would not read the portion of the motion, part 3 of the motion on your agendas for inclusion of 20 Roadblock Lane into the registry.
It didn't hit.
We got 431, did we? Was it 31 the total?
Yes, it was 31.
51 for the first one, 31 for the second.
And that's correct, Simon. That would be the approach that we would take for that one.
Were we kind of harsh on the second one, just out of curiosity?
Our counselor, is that directed towards staff or to the?
Well, I'm just kind of curious the differences might have been the age, whatever. I wasn't sure if that was one of the big blocks right there. Not sure.
Through the chair to the counselor, I think for that one, there was a lot of alterations made to the property and the connection. The historical associations aren't quite as strong for that one.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a weaker case of the two, no question. Okay, I will need someone to move sections 1 and 2 of the motion, please. Anyone got?
Come on, Mr. Jones. You're the Dartmouth boy.
I'm still sad that it was 31.
When this happens, what's the next step? Can it be represented at another time?
What was that?
I say when there is a low score like this, what is the next step for it? Can it be represented at a future date?
I don't know, Elizabeth, what happens to the property at this point? Does it get
Simon?
reviewed again or?
I'll
Through
let.
the oh,
Nope. I was just going to say I was going to let staff speak to that.
okay. Through the chair, that would only really be triggered if we received another application to process the heritage registration. So for this application in particular, it was council initiated. So it would really be up to regional council at that point.
Okay, thank you.
I'll go ahead and move this if there's no other mover. I'm going to move 1 and 2.
Yeah, please, thank you.
Okay, I move that the Heritage Advisory Committee recommend that Halifax Regional Council set a date for a heritage hearing to consider the inclusion of the subject property in the Registry of Heritage Property for the Halifax Regional Municipality. Approve the request to include 6 and 16 Rope Walk Lane in the Registry of Heritage Property for the Halifax Regional Municipality as shown on map 1 of the staff report dated February 19, 2025 as municipal heritage property under the Heritage Property Act. And that's it.
Thank you. Do you have a seconder?
Tyler, and I'll second.
Thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? Motion carried. My time in this committee, I think it's the first time property was not approved. Okay, our next meeting is April the 23rd, 2025. Can I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.
I move
Thank
the
you.
motion to.
Thank you for that motion. And we can send the counselors back to budget talks.
Gee, thanks.
I'd rather
You're
stay here,
really
guys.
happy with that, I can tell.
Thank you all.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you very much.
everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Have a
Take
good
care, everyone.